Afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Tamika Peoples, and I'm founder of Peoples Foundation. We're headquartered in the Central Coast of California. And I also want to extend a thank you to the National AgrAbility Project and NCAT Land Grant University's workshop for inviting us and having us speak today during the conference. It has really been our honor to be a part of the presentations. Great last 2 weeks. And, for the last one, we'll try to be brief and make sure that you guys get a good overview of who we are, what we offer, and how to reach out to us in future expectations. Towards the end, I'll go ahead and hand it off to my co-presenter, Darrell, who is going to walk you through Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce and talk a bit more about getting shelf ready. This is the things we're going to cover today, our services and programs, just who is People's Foundation in our work in the Life Project, our Seed2Store workshop and what that includes, how to contact us and be a part of those. And then we'll open it up for questions and answers and an opportunity for our host to close out the presentation in the series today. So as I mentioned, People's Foundation is headquarters in California. And I know you're thinking, California, how can we provide services out to North Carolina and across the nation? But this foundation was really founded in 2014 by a strong and mighty, lean and mighty veteran organization and teammates really looking to continue our service to our community after our service to country. And it was really the impetus of a tragic loss of a fellow veteran who lost his life to suicide. And us being exposed to the things that were going on in our community, like lack of access for young adults in STEM programs, being able to be a part of a clinic and workshop in golf really inspired us to continue our service in the way of community service to our local community here in Lompoc, California. And then how can we extend that out? So our mission is simple. We want to provide real supportive services to veterans and youth in underserved and rural communities through programs and resources, really being the change that we want to see in this world. Is really essential to the core of our team. We have a 7 to 12 person team, all veterans that operationally volunteer to run and support these programs. And we offer programs focused in youth and programs in art and tech, veterans adaptive golf, which I'll cover here in a few, and partner community outreach service programs, which is really the impetus of how we got involved in the Life Project. As mentioned, we offer therapeutic adaptive golf clinics, which are free in our community. And through our partnership with US Adaptive Golf Alliance and the USPGA, we are really able to offer these clinics nationwide. We wanted to make sure to provide these clinics to those who had limitations and were veterans who were probably experiencing the same things that we had gone through. We do them weekly, 2 golf courses in our community. And again, because of this expanded network, we're really able to make sure that this is offered nationwide and the word gets out about the programs and resources of all of our adaptive clinics across the nation through that relationship. All of our pros and our participants in this program are PGA Hope certified, which means that we are able to go through the different modalities of adaptive golf, and anyone, regardless of limitation, is able to participate in our clinics. We also, through our partner relationship with around 11 schools in our own community, we service young adults through career days and mentoring services, where we bring in community members and other organizations who are really focused on exposing young adults to different careers and different modalities, really trying to re-instill hope into our youth in our community, being an impetus and a support system for stemming the school to prison pipeline, meeting the young adults where they're at and showing them that these career pathways are possible. And we do those through virtual workshops inside the classroom now. Of course, through modifying that because of COVID-19. It's really been our pleasure to service over 5,000 youth since our foundation in 2014. And something that's also near and dear to our heart of one of our program service offerings is our coding and STEM camp services that we do. It really focuses on the STEAM pathways. We do coding days in our community, hackathons, and we also are modifying that to do virtual coding events for youth in our community. We do sponsored youth summer camps and coding and tech days. And we really want to focus on the young girls who need to be exposed to STEM and career fields a bit earlier so that they can make sure those pathways are an option for them. We sponsor young adults and work with national partners like Meet School and Code 2040. And we've even done great work with the Thurgood Marshall College Scholarship Fund and their Hack and Innovate Days right in Durham, North Carolina for these events. Oops, sorry. So then that brings us to our work with the Life Project. Really was the impetus of our involvement in really connecting back with our community and being able to provide additional services through veteran programs and our work with the Life Project. Well over a year ago or so, we started to work with the Legacy Farming and Health Group, and they certainly mentioned that there was this need and there was an opportunity to continue this service to veterans with the Life Project. And so we're 1/3 of the organizations who are part of the Life Project, Legacy Farming and Health Group, of course, People's Foundation, and who we've heard from earlier this week, which was John Jamerson and Legacy Taste of the Garden. We offer these monthly trainings every month on the third Thursday, where people can be involved in learning about how to increase their opportunities to participate in USDA programs, grant programs and opportunities, and new innovative ways to process and technology with their farm and their ranch. You can find out more information about the Life Project at the-lifeproject.com, excuse me. Now, our goal within that Life Project is not to be duplicative in services. We really act as an organization who reaches out to vets and new and beginning farmers who are interested in farming and ranching. And we make sure, one, that they are connected to the amazing organizations that, of course, we've heard here today, on top of our internal teammates and partners within the Life Project, like National AgrAbility Project, certainly dealing with veterans who have limitations, yet who are also interested in ranching and farming. This is a great way to make sure that they're connected to these organizations. We just wanted to make sure that they have options and resources when it comes to farming and being involved in agriculture. So our goal in this instance is to refer and connect. Now, what about the Seed2Store workshop? One of the things that we want to concentrate on for our workshops was really increasing those who participate in grants and programs and scholarships within USDA, as well as innovative ways to be a part of the agriculture sector. And we were noticing that there was certainly significant barriers to entry to understanding what these programs are and how to be more involved in these programs. And that barrier to entry was really centered around being able to register in some of these databases like SAM.gov and understanding what it is that the USDA offers with respect to value-added programs, as well as the agricultural marketing sector within USDA that helps them sell their commodities to the government. So our goal with our focus areas here is to really walk organizations through and farmers through how to get registered in SAM. That's the first step, and how to really consider other organizations like trade organizations to open up avenues of ways to sell your farm products to more direct customer and direct customer markets. One of the reasons why, again, we mentioned it's really important that we understand how to be involved in these programs. And it's one of the main areas was not being able or understanding how to get through the SAM registration process. Within our workshops, we cover exactly what that means to register, how to get your Duns and Bradstreet number. Yes, there'll be other steps that you have to go through, but we do not want socially disadvantaged veteran farmers and ranchers to be missing out on opportunities in this area by not understanding how to get through this first initial process, which is registering in that database and having access to these resources that are in these other programs within USDA. That's one of the main goals of our workshop. And we really want to focus on that because research is showing that one of the 3 to 4 main areas that really act as a barrier to our socially disadvantaged veteran farmers and ranchers to be involved in these programs, which is land access, the innovation alternatives to markets, and understanding how to be involved in these markets. So we wanted to bring down those barriers, make sure they understand these processes and walk them through that. Another area that we cover during our workshops is more direct to market considerations. how to be involved with trade organizations in your area, things like the Western US excuse me, Western US Agriculture and Trade Association. Just what do they do? Are there opportunities for our farmers to be involved in exporting their products? And what about if you're selling locally? Are there areas that you can tap into, like barn to door and grub market, where you can begin to sell your local commodities in more of these virtual environments, really focusing in on the innovation that can be brought into the agricultural sector to sell more directly to your customer. And that is really the impetus of all the things that we're starting to see with the new phases of agriculture. In fact, it really brings me to the point of highlighting some of the farmers we have worked with. Right there in your guys' own backyard there's a gentleman called, his name is Julius Tillery. He's a 5th generation cotton farmer. And he thought very innovatively about how he can bring and sell more directly to customers. And that's really the impetus of being able to utilize models to get your commodity more direct to market. Being able to break down those barriers is one of the things that our workshop concentrates on. We offer our workshops in multiple facets. We do them virtually in one-on-one sessions. You can book those online at peoples-foundation.org. We also do them in group settings, just like this, where we kind of take the time out to really walk through those processes. And then we allow people to really reach out to us by doing on-farm settings. Of course, that has had to be modified because of COVID-19, but these are just some highlighted sections of where we've been able to do that outreach. We've certainly worked with the National Black Farmers Association. We've done these workshops up north in the regional areas of Northern California, and even as far away as coming out to Georgia to meet with farmers and walk them through that process, and even introducing young farmers to different areas of which they can be involved in these programs within USDA, and certainly leveraging the current organizations that are out there servicing them. Here's our contact information and how you can reach People's Foundation. Of course, everything Life Project is the-lifeproject.com. And there's our website where you can sign up or request our workshops in your area. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Darrell, who's going to walk you through recipe development and being able to understand being shelf ready.
Yeah. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Darrell Anderson. I'm the CEO of Chef Joseph's Original Chicago Style Kick Sauce, located in Virginia Beach. I am a certified chef, graduated from Tidewater Community College, and been in the hot sauce manufacturing business for about 13 years. And so, we bring the recipe development / how to basically break through your barriers to follow your dreams and get your products where they can become market ready. Next. So we're in actually the hot sauce business. They call it Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce. Those are some photos there. Next. We also have a line of seasonings as well. And next. And one of the key products that we're into now is the ginger drinks with alkaline water, basically raising the pH in the body so people can become more healthier, which is considered to be a value-added product. And so again, we focus on the manufacturing, recipe development, how to cover through your barriers, go through your barriers to go to the next level. Next. From there, the kick sauce spun into hot sauce clutch bags. And this is just some images of the vision of what happened, coming from the beginning into your vision. Next. This is one of the kiosks at a local location in Virginia Beach. Next. So it didn't always start there. And again, we're bringing the entrepreneur piece to this whole program with the Life Project, and teaching people the recipe development, and then paying attention to the signs of the universe to be able to walk into what you're called to do. I started out as a barber. That was one of the pictures in the newspaper. Spinner's Barbershop, was located in Bedford, Virginia, and that was where my entrepreneur journey first started. Next. from there, went into the taxi cab business and started a company called S-Line Transportation. And S-Line Transportation was a local taxi service. And then we got into the governmental side with medical transportation. And that was one of the pictures in the paper as well. Next. Good. All right. So people may wonder, like, how did you go from cutting hair to medical transport to Chef Joseph's? And, you know, making hot sauce. And this is the brand of where it started. The Chef Joseph's story behind the whole entrepreneurship was basically when I was cutting hair, I knew that there was something bigger for me to do. Didn't know what, I was just trying to figure it out. And so one day I was on my motorcycle ride in Roanoke, Virginia, a beautiful spring day, and church was having a fish fry. And I was like, hey, y'all got any hot sauce? And this tall gentleman walked up to me. He said, man, you don't want no hot sauce. I said, yes, I do. Where's the hot sauce? He said, nice to meet you. My name is Joseph. I make hot sauce. I said, really? So here's my business card. If you're interested, you know what I'm saying, just give me a call. Maybe we can talk about business. So about 10 months later on a Saturday, Joseph called me and he said he wants to sit down and talk to me about the hot sauce that he had. So we basically went into a partnership agreement and, you know, for a while and started building the business. And as we started getting more in depth, you know, to the nuts and bolts of the business, regulations and all that, he decided not to carry on. So at that point, he sold me his half of the company. And I basically took it from that idea, you know, basically to what you see now as a brand. Next. So we're talking about vision, we're talking about entrepreneurship and that type of thing. And if you look at what you've seen before, now you see the actual original sketches that when we first hit the ground running, it was like, wow, these ideas kept coming. And someone told me to write it down, the time and date. So if you see in the top right-hand corner, 11/2/11, I was actually driving a forklift working at Elizabeth Arden. And I was working at driving a forklift, but this Chef Joseph's thing kept tugging at me. So I was like sketching and making sketches on pieces of papers and everything like that. And this is actually one of the original sketches of what you see. This is in the very, very, very beginning. Next. And that transitioned into that as well. So I was very new to this whole business and just ideas kept flowing. Next. Then we got into peppers and trying to get into a little digital design. Next. So from all of that, it spun into Dreams Manifested. And I never in a million years thought that it would be into a brand such as what you see today. Next. So tying this into the entrepreneurship, you know, good products, people love the products, the brand and everything looks good, but it was like, well, how did you do it? And so many people would come to me, they would try the kick sauce, they would try the ginger drinks, they would try the seasoning. They said, man, how did you do it? I've had countless of stories from people making their own liquor and, you know, their own concoctions, pig feet, you name it. And they say, how did you do this? And that's when I started listening to the universe. It was like so unusual that so many people would come to me about these stories. I was like, man, you got to do something about this because obviously somebody's trying to get your attention with this. Next. So that spun this whole conversation into 3 platforms. And teaching people the art of entrepreneurship and that type of thing and overcoming your barriers like we talked about in the very beginning. So from that, it spun into the Chef Joseph's Entrepreneur Boot Camps. And that is basically for the adults and young adults about entrepreneurship and your trials and tribulations, which you must go through to get to the next level. Number 2 would be the Chef Joseph's Kidpreneurs, you know, teaching young adults as well, the science of entrepreneurship. And 3, the ginger and alkaline seminars, 10.4. Those seminars are or workshops are designed for raising your pH, understanding ginger, understanding alkaline, how important it is to the body. And also we've released a Chef Joseph's Kids coloring book. We also have the next book to the left is the Chef Joseph's Entrepreneurs Market Ready Guide. That's a step-by-step manual teaching you the step-by-step process of you can bake, fry, a lot of these type of things. A lot of people just don't know because we all know grandmama can cook and, oh, my friend, she makes a sweet potato pie. But the question is, what is she doing with it? And so that is one of the major questions that people want to know about this. And I put together a guide, which can be found on the website as well, of the step-by-step process of how to go about doing it. Because it took me almost really 4 years to even get into all this information because it was so much. All right, next. So the goal and the mission of the Chef Joseph's Entrepreneurship Bootcamp Kidpreneurs is our goal and mission is to transform your business and entrepreneurial ideas from a thought to the retail market. This is done by pulling your ideas from the supernatural realm into the physical realm and creating a platform for you to turn your business ideas into a major profit. You know, I'm a firm believer that when the universe gives you ideas, okay, that's actually in the atmosphere. But the only way it's going to come from the atmosphere down to the natural is that you must put it on paper. You know what I'm saying? That's what actually makes it tangible, where you can move, you can see it, you can dream it and all that kind of stuff. And so that's very, very important as well. Next. So the main thing here is, what is your talent? A lot of people don't know what their talent is. A lot of people get jobs and things like that, which is nothing wrong with jobs if that's what you were called to do. But the question is, what is your talent? A lot of people don't ask themselves, well, what am I good at doing? Because your talent may just be bigger than the job you're on. Next. Number two is understanding that creativity has been given to every human being. You know, so everybody or every human being that was born has a certain level of creativity that has been given to them, and it's their responsibility to find out what it is while they're here. Next. So let's look at this word create. To bring into existence, to give rise to produce through imaginative skill, to bring about change or a course of action. And those are, number 5, to build, make, compose, imagine, and to invent. So when you look at create, I mean, everything we see has been created, you know what I'm saying? And it came from a thought to, to manifestation. Next. But what stops most people? Lack of faith, crippled by fear, procrastination, big one, lack of discipline, lack of a definite aim, afraid of the sacrifice and what others may say or think, and afraid of failure. Next. So steps to your reality: dream, visualize, write it down, and then make it into a reality. Next. So when you look at your product, and what you're trying to do, the left side, I broke it down, food and recipes. Right side, retail, products, and invention. So some of you in the room may have one of these 4 that you can actually capitalize on. Next. But even with that, there are things that you must consider. How good is your product or recipe? Number 2, how will it change your community? Because remember, it's not just about you, it's about trying to serve and help others. 3, do you believe in your product? Because belief is a real big thing, because if you believe in it enough, you will go through the course of action to develop it. Number 4, are you prepared to sacrifice? I've donated plasma behind my vision. A lot of people don't see that. I've been homeless behind this vision we're talking about. So yeah, are you prepared to go through that sacrifice? Next. And do you have the discipline and drive to, for your product as well? Next. And it's about your generational legacy. And that is very key. And the thing is, what's been given to you is not just for you, but it's for you to pass it back for your next generation to have a fresh start. Next. So coming into a close here, some of the things that we cover in our entrepreneur boot camps are perfecting your product or recipe, choosing your company name, designing your business logo, cost and pricing, regulations and statutes, safety of your product, business licensing and zoning, your EIN or tax ID number, business registrations, insuring your business. 11, marketing and branding. 12, taking your product to the retail market. 13, the journey. And everyone is going to have their level of journey. And so don't get discouraged by any step of the process of your journey. Next. So what you will take away from the Chef Joseph's Entrepreneur Boot Camps or Kidpreneurs, 1, is how to develop your product. 2, finding your market and product placement, because even though you have a product, you have to find a market to move it. 3, your markets and execution. Execution is very, very important, to execute. Number 4, making sales and profit, which is a big one to sustain your business. Next. Turning it into a value-added product. And that's when we get into the AgrAbility, farmers, et cetera, et cetera. Next. So let's use an example of a value-added product. Use myself for an example. I'm a chef, had an idea to basically take a product in the crop. So you take myself plus ginger, or the chef or that person plus the ginger equals basically a ginger drink. So this is basically what it is. So taking a product from the ground to basically turn it into a value-added product. Next. Okay, so connecting your products to the Life Project and AgrAbility. So basically, on the Chef Joseph side, when we find people that may approach us about, value-added, different things like that, then it is our responsibility, is what we do, to connect them so they can basically walk through the necessary steps of getting their products connected to the Life Project as well as AgrAbility as well. Next. So our company information is Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce. You can actually Google it, Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce. See the address there. And our website is www.chefjosephskicksauce.com. Email events@chefjosephspeaks.com. And this is our contact information for the market ready guides. We have the Chef Joseph's Kids or Children's Coloring Book as well. These can be found all on the website along with our recipe development. And that would be it. Thank you. Next. It's a little slow there. Cool. And again, thank you for your time. That's it.
Wow, thank you very much for that great presentation. Do we have any questions for the presenters?
We do have one question. Rather than trying to share the screen, I'll just ask the question. Is the Seed2Store workshop only for veterans? I believe that's Tamika's.
Great question. The Seed2Store workshop is open to anyone who's interested in understanding how to get registered in these databases. So it's open to everyone. So, okay, great question.
Okay.
I would like to ask Daryl about the question that came. Did you just say you have these boot camps for people who wants to be, better on their entrepreneurship? How much is that, and how do you do these workshops or these camps?
Yeah, great question. We were, when it first initially started, we were actually getting hotel rooms and, conference rooms and things like that and selling by the ticket. But of course, when the pandemic hit, basically everything had to go virtual. And so that's now the focus. Everything is virtual with the Life Project. So we're able to do workshops and things through our group. And so that's basically where we are with that. But yeah, for entrepreneurship, kidpreneurs, and 2 different platforms. You've seen some of the images of the cartoons and things that was designed. I kind of infused both, for the young adults as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think it's pretty interesting and people learn from, getting inspired from others that have done and walk through all the things that you have done. It's very, very interesting. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, actually, we just had one come in. It says, thank you, Chef, for sharing your journey with us. What advice do you have for farmer entrepreneurs? Wow.
Is that to myself or Tamika?
I'm thinking that's to you. But we'll take both your thoughts.
Of course.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, that's a very good question. And, you know, you have so many farmers that grow crops, and we're in multiple markets here in Virginia Beach, you know, and to basically take whatever crop you grow, bottle it, can it, put a price on it, go to your local farmers markets and go from there and spread out. And it's really big, especially in the time that we're living in now. So yes, whatever farmer, whatever crops they have, yeah, that's what my target focus would be.
If I could even add to that, that was a great question. And one of the things that we try to focus on with throughout the Life Project is really making sure farmers understand that there are programs within USDA that really help with value addition. For farmers who are interested in value-added products and tools and resources, I would recommend that they go to the USDA website. You can put in search, you can type in a value added. And within value addition programs, you normally are working with your county representative. They help you from planning, the pieces that Darrell just talked about, and they also have grants that will help you start out in getting your product to the market. So you're talking about packaging, you're talking about marketing, you're talking about labeling. All these things are typically a cost. Anything you do to the crop once you harvest that crop that adds value, i.e. cotton, t-shirts, right? Ginger drinks, those could be value-added products for you. So I would recommend you go to the USDA value-added program and you pull down your state and your county within that website, and there are all kinds of opportunities for you to be able to get involved in value-added program support. But the first step to that support is actually being able to register and be SAM ready. You have to be an identified kind of government business so that you can apply for these grants, which is what the Seed2Store workshop focuses in on. I hope that helps.
Great, thank you both. We did have one more come in, and I'm pretty sure this one is for Darrell. A suggestion as to where we can find ginger to grow.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's a good question. You can look locally. You can look locally at your ginger farmers. What we had done, just did a Google search for the local ginger farmers here in Virginia, and you can start right there. If you can't, depending on your ginger and how much quantity you need, you may want to consider doing contacting a distributor as well. So that will be two options that they could do. But growing your ginger would definitely tie into the value added, like Ms. Peoples just said, you know, and it's more language behind that, owning 51% of the land, et cetera, you know. But yeah, start with your local ginger, Google search, Google search, excuse me. Yeah.
Okay, we just had a suggestion come in from one of our viewers, seed catalogs, and then grow it in high tunnels. So that was a suggestion from one of our viewers.
Wow, great.
Okay, that's so far the end of the questions for now, though. So
thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And okay, so we have reached the end of the AgrAbility Life Project 1890 Land Grant Institutions virtual workshop. And here we had the opportunity to learn a lot about AgrAbility and services, assistive technology, what is it to be farming with a disability, and, you know, vocational rehabilitation, working with minorities, and all the resources available that you all have shared with us during these 2 weeks has been great. And so now we want to just share some more information so we can keep all connected. We want to first, Tess is going to give us some information about other events coming up.
Thank you, Patty. Yes, we just opened today registration for a series of workshops that we are going to be doing the first week in December. It'll be December 1st, 3rd, and 4th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. There will be a couple of sessions, mostly about AgrAbility, kind of an overview of AgrAbility, and then a worksite assessment session. And then the other 4 sessions are going to be dealing with stress and mental health in the rural communities and farming. So it's going to have a real, mental health, what can you do kind of focus. So that registration just opened today. If you didn't get an invite in your email, you can go to agrability.org and then go to the other trainings and events tab, and you will see information about it there, and there will be a link for registration there. Or you can get in touch with me and I will put my email in the chat box. And I'm gonna pass it on to John Jamerson.
Hello, everyone. This is John Jamerson, the project director of Legacy Farming and Health Group, the Life Project. And just wanted to thank North Carolina A&T and the National AgrAbility for putting on such a great conference and allowing us to be able to join in and share with the information that we had. I'd like to also give a thanks to Betty and Chuck and Ed and Victoria and Tamika and Darrell for the great presentation that they did today and representing the Legacy Farming and Health Group Life Project part of it. And so just wanted to thank all the attendees for coming. We do also have a few things that are coming up in the near future. Next week, we will have our special speaker that we have on the third Thursday of each month. And we will also, in the near future, be continuing our farm succession series that we had with AgrAbility with Chuck and Ed. And that will be determined. You can get more information from us at the-lifeproject.com, and you'll be able to get more information on those programs that are coming up and how to register for them. So I wanted to thank everybody. It was an honor to be here. I'm passing it on to Tamika Peoples.
Hey, John, thank you so much. I also want to echo that thank you. It's really been an amazing last week and a half, 2 weeks now, really learning more about all the organizations that have participated, the host, the 1890 NCAT. We cannot thank you enough. And our National AgrAbility project partners, you guys have always been great to work with, and we're really happy to learn more about what you all do and so many facets of the things you support. So we really look forward to being able to offer our workshops in multiple different capacities. So we're certainly always open to supporting outside of our boundaries, right? We will be having the third Thursday, and it will be a nice speaker this third Thursday. I look forward to that this week. And just thank you to all of the partners. So that's all we have. You can find all of our information on how to sign up for our programs and request our workshops at peoples-foundation.org, and all things Life Project at the-lifeproject.com. Really appreciate everyone attending. And I'll pass it off to Chuck. Thank you.
Thanks, Tamika. And on behalf of the National AgrAbility Project, those of us who were able to participate in this workshop, Paul Jones, Ed Sheldon, Jo Beth Rath, Tess McKeel, and myself, we also want to say thank you to North Carolina A&T for having been willing to host this program, to the staff of North Carolina AgrAbility Project for the great work that they did in making all of this possible and using their IT personnel to make this Zoom platform work for all of us. And thanks to all of you who attended these different sessions. It's great to get to know some of you. We see many names that we were not familiar with. And if you do have any questions for any of us about any of the topics you've seen, or if you have other topics that you would like to see us treat in the future, we hope that you will contact us. I think each of the organizations has put their address, perhaps phone number, in the chat. If you scroll up to the third one from the top, you'll find the National AgrAbility Project's contacts there, and we would love to hear from you. We hope to see you in the future for further workshops, hopefully in person, if not, certainly virtually. Thanks, and we'll turn it over to Betty Rodriguez.
Thank you, Chuck, and thank you everybody for being here. I really, really appreciate all the LIFE project, the National AgrAbility, and all the resources that you have put here on this workshop. And I hope we can keep connected and have more programs in the future. Thank you very much.